Paradoxes are not covered under warranty.
So, Andrew G. Gibson has written a book called The Time Traveler's User Guide. Sounds handy, doesn't it? Like a neat little manual that tells you which buttons to press so you don't accidentally delete Napoleon or duplicate your dog. But of course, it isn't that at all. It's messy, disorienting, and darkly funny. More like a survival guide penned by someone who's already failed the course 3 times and decided to leave you their notes. The whole thing reads less like a novel and more like the confession of someone you really shouldn't trust, which naturally makes it fascinating. The structure is as fractured as time itself. Instead of marching from A to B like a polite novel should, it lurches around, dropping fragments, half-memories, and blog entries like confetti. You're never quite sure if you're reading a manual, a memoir, or a prank. And that's the trick. The book insists you do the work of stitching the pieces together, like a detective who's been handed a box of mismatched jigsaw puzzles. It's frustrating, yes, but it's also exhilarating. By the time you get into the rhythm of it, you start to wonder if maybe this is what time travel would actually feel like. At the core of the chaos is Charlie. He's a man with problems, plenty of them, and a device that doesn't make those problems go away so much as multiply them. When he stumbles into his own future self, he gives that version the name Dave. Not as a disguise, but because at that moment, Dave ceases to be Charlie. They share the same DNA, the same memories up until a point, but from then on, they're separate people. 2 lives, 1 origin. It's not so much meeting yourself as meeting your worst twin, the one who knows all your bad decisions because he's already made them. Their relationship drives the story, and it's not the warm reunion you might expect. Charlie is reckless, impulsive, still convinced he can fix things if he just pushes the right button. Dave is cynical, world-weary, and frankly a bit of a bastard, which is fair because he knows exactly how badly things turn out. They argue like family, but with the added horror that every insult hits twice as hard, because it's basically the truth. Watching them fight is like watching a man wrestle his own shadow. Like only the shadow has a better memory and no patience left. Orbiting around this fractured duo are characters who refuse to be background noise. There's the partner left behind in ordinary time who serves as a brutal reminder that some things can't be rewound. There's the companion marooned in the prehistoric wilderness, surviving with only fragments of help from a half-functioning AI. And then there's Naomi, the artificial intelligence who seems equally happy to guide you, lie to you, or psychoanalyze you while you fall apart. These figures aren't just supporting players, they're the ones who remind Charlie and Dave and the reader that time travel isn't just paradoxes. It's heartbreak, compromise, and bad decisions you can't undo. Themes creep out from every corner, and they're not gentle. Addiction, regret, the ethics of identity. This is science fiction with dirt under its nails. The idea of splitting into 2 people forces the question of responsibility. If Charlie and Dave both existed, which one has to pay for the mistakes? Which one gets the chance to change? The novel doesn't give you a neat answer, because there isn't one. Instead, it leans into the comedy of it all. The cosmic joke that having the power to bend time doesn't make you less human. It just makes your mistakes louder. The world building is as unstable as the characters. The time travel device itself is small and personal, almost absurd in its simplicity. Pause, jump, copy, commands that sound harmless until you see what they do. From the rain-soaked streets of Manchester to speculative Martian cities, to ancient landscapes crawling with survival threats, the settings feel unstable, always threatening to fracture. Nothing ever feels safe, least of all time itself, and that sense of precariousness is what gives the novel its constant edge. What works brilliantly is the audacity. The book refuses to hold your hand, dares you to get lost, and then rewards you with sharp bursts of humor and devastating moments of clarity. The dynamic between Charlie and Dave is one of the freshest explorations of identity in modern sci-fi. Precisely because they aren't one man at 2 ages, but 2 people competing for the same past. The supporting characters give the story its heart, grounding it just when it threatens to spiral into absurdity. And the humor, dark, biting, and very British, keeps the whole thing from collapsing under its own ambition. Of course, this comes with challenges. Some readers are going to find the structure too fragmented, the tone too slippery, and the explanations too scarce. It's not a book that gives you easy answers or even easy questions, but those rough edges are the point. Gibson wants you to feel the disorientation of living outside of time, and he succeeds. For the right reader, that will feel like liberation rather than punishment. In the end, The Time Traveler's User Guide is messy, chaotic, and absolutely worth the ride. It's not science fiction for people who want their paradoxes neatly labeled and filed away. It's for readers who enjoy being unsettled, who laugh in the face of confusion, and who don't mind finding themselves arguing with a character who is technically the same man twice. It lingers because it refuses to resolve itself cleanly, and maybe that's the most honest thing a book about time travel could do.